And hello everybody, hello my dears. I think that we can start our broadcast a little bit earlier than 20 to 30 minutes in Ukraine. And traditionally my first questions. Do you hear me good or no? What was sound? And do you see me good? Because we waste some time for the check our sounds, our picture. I think if we start a little bit earlier, is be better. And I'm C pluses. It's a beautiful. Hello, my dears. Hello for all country who are coming on our broadcast. My name is Pasha. It's a flashback channel, and do you see theme of our broadcast today? It's a day of the Russian shame. You know, every year when all civilized people at 8 May, just to give respect to the veterans, they go to the mansions, they go to the monuments for like refresh members about Second World War. Russia, it's not like normal people. Russia made, I don't know, every 9 May, Russia made a super duper party with alcohol, with a shashlik, they dancing, they singing, and if you see how Russia have 9 May, it's a day of victory for the Russia. It looks like a big party. I don't know. They think that Second World War. It's very funny. I don't know when the Russia will defeat it in this war against Ukraine. I think that they made a day of the special military operation. How did they say it about a Russian-Ukrainian war? And I think they too will be dancing. Maybe, I don't know, because we cannot understand Russian mind, we cannot understand Russian brain and Russian philosophy. It's something separate. It's not look like a things of normal people. So yes, and you see a main picture of the broadcast. It's like a symbol of Russian 9 May. It's a people who made a masquerade. People wear it like a Soviet tanks, like a Soviet soldiers. They wear children in a Soviet uniform. It may be like a Halloween or something like this. It's look like a Brazilian carnival. I don't know. In Ukraine, we had same tradition 10 years ago, but for Ukrainian, it's never was like a so funny day. Yes, it's not funny day for us, but it's once. Also, that's why we different with Russian. And tradition information, my dears, for today, 10 May, Russian loses its 195,000 soldiers. 195,000. It's a very good number. It's very close to the 200,000, and it's a big percent of the all Russian military strength. If we don't include mobilization in this number, it means that we destroyed maybe 30% of the Russian army, and maybe bigger than 60% of the Russian infantry, in my opinion, because you understand that general number of army included not only soldiers, infantry, yes, it's in this number including supply brigades, in this number including, I don't know, navy, uh, fuck, oh sorry, cats near my flat have so high volume. I'm just close the window. One moment, my dears. I hope you doesn't hear it. What this cats scream. One moment. And I'm continuous, always good. And what about adult? I'm told that 1 million personnel, it's not only 1 million infantry, it's to about supply, it's to about maintenance unit, it's about Russian National Guard too. They do police function, and for general combat strength 200,000, it's a very big number. Yeah, cat is okay. It's not mine cat. It's not sorry my dears, it's not my cat. It's maybe neighbor's cat or something like this, and he just outside. Yeah, now just a springtime for cats and normal. But I think that cat on a broadcast, it's not good. It's not my cat. If I have been cats, I show it for you. Maybe I make a special blog about cat, but not. It's not my cat. And yes, and now numbers of the Russian loses very big, and I'm very happy because it means that Ukrainian victory will be more close. And I'm see one question, and it was a very interesting question from Native V, and his question: do you think when you take back Crimea, you will have Ukrainian Navy and have ships that carry Navy planes on them, air carriers? And so it's interesting because before Russian invasion in Ukraine, we had Navy. Not a lot of ships, but we had couple, but it was Soviet ships, old ships, and now in Ukraine now we had a couple modern cutter, and I think so soon we will have more biggest ships, but aircraft ship, I should find how right I should say this word. Aircraft carriers for the sea, I think it will be not useful because, for example, United States have aircraft carrier for what? Because they have access to the ocean. In Ukraine, for sorry, we doesn't have ocean. We have two sea, Black Sea and Azov Sea, but not ocean. I think that jet carrier it's will be more useful for the ocean, not for Ukraine. But I think that after war, Ukrainian Navy, Ukrainian fleet will be more extended. I hope, because it's a very important fleet in Ukrainian Black Sea, in Ukrainian Azov Sea. It's like it's our defense. It's our defense. It's our safety. Because you know that Russian use Krim bridge through the Kerch and through this bridge. They move a lot of vehicle, a lot of infantries, and it's a very very important supply uh, place, supply road for him. And I think that we will build couple patrol boats or something like this, but with a missile and other. Yeah, I think it will be useful for Ukraine. And so yesterday Putin had a victory parade. It wasn't a parade like usually they have, with a lot of soldiers, a lot of tanks, APCs, vehicle, aviation, and other. Uh, it was a shame for Russian. No one foreign leaders from the civilized world, only his protectorate. But I know that Kazakhstan leader come to the parade. I don't know how was a target. How was a target of Takayev visit, because we understand that Kazakhstan choose Chinese way, not Russian way. Uh, but I think that they must go in, because Russia and this country who are coming to the parade, they elite, because don't forget about ODKB. It's a Russian organization who was made it, that was made it against NATO, like a against NATO organization. And I don't know, it's useless organization, because no one of part of ODKB don't agree with Russian politics. They try to leave from ODKB. They doesn't give support. They doesn't give a help, and they think that so soon ODKB organization will be destroyed. Yeah, I hope, because Russia will be defeated, and Belarus too, I think, change his course. They do choose European course, and ODKB will be destroyed. And when he told about one tank parade, I wanna show you something. Maybe I'm find very very good picture in a Twitter. It's about Russian Victory Day. You can see Russian generals, Putin, and Russian parade. On these pictures, artists show how price of the Russian parade. Wounded soldiers without legs, without arms, just moving these tanks and making show for the Putin and for the generals. And in real, it's true. I think its show was only for the Putin, no more. And I think that people too said, because День Победы, Victory Day, we should drink and something like this, where is parade. We should drink first cup of vodka after Putin. Sorry, after Putin speech. But no, speech is said, parade is said, Russia in general it's a sad. So yes, and what I'm gonna show you for you. So and I'm find couple two funny pictures. Why do you say that Russian doesn't have a tanks? They have a tanks, and I show you these tanks. It's a very very strange tanks. One moment, I'm just to show this picture. I think after couple months, when we destroy all Russian MBT, they will use these tanks for the offensive, like a main offensive battle tank for the Russian. You can see happy father, you can see happy children. Yeah, they real so happy because in future they will be conscripted or mobilized and they will go to fight for the Putin or for the hologram of Putin or clone of the Putin. I don't know. And I have Red Bull tonight. I'm think that jiggle work it's not good work for me. I think I should be a Red Bull ambassador in Ukraine. So yeah, children so happy because they part of the victory day. It's a typical Russian tradition when they wear his children in a Soviet uniform, in a Russian uniform, when they made paper tanks or not paper tanks. And the same photo you can see, same situation. Fathers is happy, fake veterans is happy. Wow, but small kids just hide his face. I think it's because this small kid's a little bit smart or a little bit clever and he doesn't want to be a part of this shame. I think it's the reason why he hide his face. So yeah, I don't know. I know that in my broadcast and my broadcast I have parents, people who have chilled. My dears, just write me. It's okay, it's good, it's normal. Parents, what do you think about it? In my opinion, it's not good. Maybe it looks funny for children, but on a previous picture, children is crying. They're not screaming "Slava России," for example, or "Zadidov." They are crying on this picture. It's not look so funny. If I maybe will be Russian tanker, I'm too crying because if you are Russian tanker, you have ticket only on a one direct. Going to the meet against Ukrainian soldiers, against Enlav, against Javelin, and they have no choice. Yeah, I think it's a not happy children. And I'm told about dancing in Russia, so it's a look. um, I don't know a lot Russian tradition dancing, but Russian tradition about Russian cultures. I don't know, but I think that veterans of Second World War don't dance same dance. Maybe they think that it's very funny, but it's not for Russia. It's not Russian pictures. It's a Belarus pictures. You can see Belarus flag, but it's not traditional Belarus flag. It's a flag of the Soviet Belarus. Traditionally, Belarus flag it's a white, red, white. It's a white flag with a one red stripe of the middle. Lukashenko changed his flag on a Soviet. It was his decision. So yes, and I think it's not a traditional military dancing for the Second World War. I think that no. And my dears, now is now function of questions is working. If you wanna give question for me, I will answer. Just use question function. It's in a pinned message our chat on the top of the chat, and I will pin services for support our channel. Maxim told me today that we are back. Our monetization. It's I don't know. It's a holiday for us, but I don't know monetization is work or no. I hope that yes. But if you wanna support us, we have two services. It's a PayPal service and buy me a coffee. So I will pin it this message too, and go check your question. I'm see that you start more understand how use question functions, because start of the broadcast and so a lot questions. So good, beautiful, beautiful. Um, and the first question from the burst wheel. So, how do Ukrainian soldier like you get their call sign? Do you choose it yourself, or do other people choose it for you? So no, we cannot choose. Ah, sorry, we cannot choose it for yourself. Our mates, our побратими наші, our friends, our band's brother choose call sign for us. You should do something for the call sign or something like this. You should show your character or something like this. For example, why my call sign is Métis? Métis, it's a people who have mixed blood. Do you know, I'm told about it on a previous broadcast and on a Brandon interviews that I have a mixed blood, Ukrainian and Tatars blood, and I'm a little bit have more darker skin, not like a Slavian. And Michael San Métis, once of the old Ricky boy choose it call sign for me. I don't forgot. Ah, I remember my first call sign. Its call sign was from Lyceum. My first call sign was Starry. Starry, it's mean old, but why Starry? Because my surname is Storozhuk. Storozhuk, it sounds like a Starry, and they choose call sign Starry. But when I'm go to the infantry brigade, uh, more experienced people say that it's a shit call sign, and they choose for me Métis, and I'm like my call sign. And for other people, same situation. If you choose for yourself some call sign, at first your mates will be laughing and say and choose other call sign. But yes, call sign what do you choose for you personally doesn't work a long time. You should do something for it, something like this. For example, we had a call sign Kharkiv, for example. Yes, what does mean call sign Kharkiv? It means that soldier was burned in Kharkiv, for example, or Poltava, or something like this. So yes, I hope that I am answer on your question, Borst. Uh, and next question. Charlie Manson. Pasha, I heard the rumors, dangerous I know, that Kadyrov was going to form a blocking battalion behind Wagner to stop them retreating in Bakhmut. Did you hear anything or think it was possible? In Russia, we doesn't have something impossible, but uh, biggest part of the work of Kadyrov battalion it was a blocked work. They doesn't give opportunity to leave from position to the Russian regular soldiers, to demobilized soldiers, because we had a lot of situation uh, when Russian soldiers leaving from position, when they just are leaving from the fight, from the combat, and sometimes Kadyrovцы kill them or do something like this. But I think that it will be useless against Wagner, because to Wagner, yeah, biggest part of Wagner it's a mobilized people or prisoners, but in Wagner, we had a part of very high experienced mercenary, and I think that Kadyrovцы against this high experienced mercenary can do nothing, and it will be useless. I think it's only my opinion, but it's possible. For example, once of the news from the frontline, Prigozhin today report that Russian regular army, once of the Russian brigade, leave from the ones of flank in the Bakhmut, and Wagner occupied those position. We have biggest chance that from Bakhmut will leave regular units, but not Wagner. At first, Prigozhin promised that they leave from the Bakhmut at 10 May, but after 2 hour, will be 11 May, and I think that Russian will not leave from the position. Uh, I think that Prigozhin's video it was like an informational operation. Yes, he crying about ammo and something like this, ammunition, weapons, artillery, and blah 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 blah. But they have enough. They use enough, and they use a lot. Bakhmut now it's one of the hottest spot in Ukraine, and if Wagner doesn't have ammunition, they cannot do this spot so hot, and I think they have enough. I think it's only informational operation, and Wagner want to say something to the Russian people, no more, and they will not leave. And we are continuous looking for your question. So, and and I think I will choose question from the general chat, and it's a question from the Krasen. Uh, Krasen, by Ukrainian language, it sounds like a beautiful, beautiful boy. Krasen. Do you believe your people have the psychological edge over the Russian because you're at war and they are not? We have psychological edge and we have more highest moral. And for it, what's influence on it? One reason: we defend our home, we defend our freedom. Russia should make some reason for the war. They should describe for the people for what they start this war. In Ukraine, we shouldn't describe the people for what this war. In Ukraine, we understand that Russians it's invaders and we should defeat them, and we should win. If we not win here, if we not win them, if we defeat in this war, we lose our home, we lose our family, we will lose our country, and we understand it, and it's very very important for us because freedom for Ukrainian it's not only word. During all our history, Ukrainian warriors fight for the freedom. Because, for example, Soviet soldiers they doesn't fight for the freedom. They fight for the Stalin, for the motherland. But one example, Siberia. Yes, it's a very very far distance from the Kiev, for example. Yes, and from the Moscow too. And when Soviet soldiers, who consist of, for example, Siberian soldiers, fight in Ukraine, for Siberian Kiev, it's motherland. No, I'm saying that no. And Soviet motherland, it's like a shit, you know, because Soviet Union was occupant's country, and they should. And they should invent reasons for war. In Ukraine, we doesn't need do it, and yes, we have a moral edge. And I am before I am find next question. I show you too just a part of Russian propaganda. So you know when I'm trying to Google День Победы pictures, parade pictures, and Победобесие. It's term we made especially for the Russian День Победы, Day of the Victory, because only Russian inadequately celebrated Victory Day. You know, Google show me only this photo. Biggest part of the photo what Google showed for me, it was pictures with the children or something like this. Very very happy mother and small kid doesn't understand what's happening, what's going on, and he just I think he just thinking, what the fuck, what's happening with my carriage. And you know, if you see on the woman's face, she is real happy, she is smiling. And we had the same situation with all pictures what they show for you, but children know, because propaganda doesn't influence on those children enough, and they not understand what's going on. When they will be more younger, or when they will be adult, yeah, they will be same like his mother, who now under propaganda, but now they doesn't understand what's going on, why they should wear Soviet uniform, why they should change chair carriage to the main battle tank T-34, and children don't understand. It's very sad. It's very sad that stupid Russian parents very bad influence on his kids. And so it's not enough. I have more Russian pictures. Ta-dam! Who played in a Need for Speed Underground before? In this game we had a very good and very extended tuning for the car. For example, you can tune your Toyota Supra, you can paint it, you can change wheels or other parts. And looking at this Zhiguli, who remember Sarmat Mobile? Sarmat Mobile. It's tank with missile. I think after a couple months, Russian can use only these tanks, like this Zhiguli. Yes, armor of these tanks may be bad, maybe worse than in T-72, but in this tank, leather tank, can sit 5 mobilized people, and for example, from one Ukrainian grenade we will increase the number of the Russian losers on the 5 people. And but if Russian soldiers will try very hard, in this car can sit more than 5, 8 or 10 couple on the roof, 12 people, and one grenade will be destroyed 12 Russian soldiers. And I hope its variant will work and its variant will be better. So it's not enough. I have more pictures. And next one, it's two Lada. But it's not tank Lada, it's BMP Lada. Russian media talks that Russian people very smart and creative, but I think that they are just stupid. Thanks for the God that I am a never had a Lada. But you should understand that Lada, Zhiguli, it's a very popular car, not only Russian. It's popular car in Ukraine too, because after Soviet Union we have a lot Zhiguli, Niva, Lada and shit, something like this. And you should understand that it's prerogative maybe more older people for the grandpa or something like this, but some Ukrainian drivers drive cars that was made in 1917th year. 60 years of the car, and they said that Soviet autoprom was better in the whole world. Lada is better than BMW because for BMW you need a lot of oil. Lada is better Volkswagen because Volkswagen made tanks in Germany and blah 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 blah. But really, for today, maybe 30 years ago, it was a normal car, but not. I'm not right. It's never was a normal car. But for today, car like this, it's a really scrap of metal. When I was on the war, when I was in the war in a May of previous year, I had a Jiguli like a my combat car. It was sad time. Uh, I'm crying when I'm thinking about it. But you should understand when I had Lada like a combat car, it wasn't my own Lada. I'm use a bucket, a real bucket of the engine part every week. Real bucket, because this car was breaking every day. Really, a lot of money, a lot of engine parts every day, every week. It's a shit car. Because at first it's a Soviet car and it's a Soviet it's old car. I hope that after 5 years we will not have no one Jiguli or Lada. I hope I will see Jiguli only in museum or on a junkyard. I hope it's my dream in Ukraine that we will use electric car, hybrids, and good European, American, and Asian car. I hope. We can share. I have idea. We Ukraine can make a humanitarian support for the Russia, and we can give for the Russia our Ukrainian Jiguli, and on a Jiguli base, Russian military factory will make MBT and APC and maybe AFV. They just install on a Jiguli and on a Lada heavy machine guns, heavy cannons, and go to fight. I personally can share it for the Russia. One my Jiguli, what I'm abandoned on a Donbass because I'm lose couple wheels and couple parts of the engine. So yes, uh, and I will find next your question. Don't forget that you for give your question you can use question function. It's a blue pinned message, and in this blue pinned message I wrote that I waiting your question. Just push on this button and you can give a question. It will be more comfortable for me because I can find it and prepare a very extended answer on your question. And don't forget support our channel. Links for the support you can see in a pinned message and on a describe of this broadcast and under my face. But I'm not sure. Max said that we have some problem with the PayPal. I think that Buy Me a Coffee will be better because with a Buy Me a Coffee you can use your Google Pay and Apple Pay. It's a so important function. And I don't know super chat working or no, because because monetization is back, but I don't know what about super chat. And the next question, and it's question from the Karen Thompson. Are you all getting the supplies sooner than you were, or are you all still experiencing delays? So I'm serving in a National Guard, and for example, my structure took all supplies. If you mean supplies or international support. If you told about supplies, yes, we have good supplies. Our supplies rolled to the front line, our work, and our soldier on the trench not hungry. And when we were on a Bakhmut, directly on a Bakhmut, we too doesn't have a trouble with supply because our rear units of my brigade do, I don't know, work of the Supermans when they moving through this is one road to the Bakhmut, but our soldier wasn't hungry, and our soldier was not doesn't have had troubles with ammunition. So yes, and but if you ask it about international support, I'm serving in National Guard, and we should understand that the National Guard took all international support a little bit later than armed forces of Ukraine, and I can't control and I can't understand when this international supply like APC or something like this come in Ukraine. But we have four types of the vehicle, but I don't know they come so late to my brigade or not so late. I hope that I'm answer on your question, Karen Thompson. And I'm see question about ground. So good question about ground in Ukraine. So last days we had so dry weather, and I think the biggest part of the ground so dry, but we have flooding. Dnipro are flooding, Seversky Donets are flooding, and for example, I'm just monitoring internet, and I'm find use that in a Donbas region, Russian soldiers have a trouble with supply because Ponton's bridge now underwater because water line of the Seversky Donets now highest than before. And I think that ground it's not one reason of counteroffensive. I think we had a lot of reason for the counteroffensive at Ukrainian High Com understand when counteroffensive will be more useful. So, and I'm the question about Bradley on the front line, and the next question about Bradley too, from the Chuck Yamers. Have you fired M2, M2A2 HMG and Deshika HMG? Not, it's not about Bradley, because I think that M2A2 it's Bradley's cannon, but it's M2A2 it's M2A2 it's a Bradley cannon. It's not Browning typical infantry gun. So about Bradley, my mind since mixed. About Bradley, I have information because I'm see a couple photo of the Bradley, and I'm see photos that saw part of the Bradley come in Ukraine without guns, without the M2A2, and I don't know how it works. They like a, I don't know, not unmilitarized or something like this. Yes, Bradley not tank, it's an infantry fighting vehicle. And so yes, and I'm see photos that Bradley doesn't have factory cannon M2A2, and we can't uh, compare M2A2 and DSHK because it's a difference. It's a different types of the weapon. Because first task for the DSHK it was anti-air gun, and Dishka, Americans say it Dishka, American soldier. Dishka was made it against aviation for the ships for the navy, but M2A2 it's only for Bradley. Sorry, M2A2 it's a model of Bradley, but how names of the gun of Bradley? Oh. I'm fail. So sorry. And I'm see question from the medium word. Sorry, I'm late. I'm not sure if you have talked about Zaporizhzhia power plant yet. So we know we doesn't talk before about Zaporizhzhia power plant, but I have interesting information. In the Ukrainian media, we had a lot of messages that occupants on a Zaporizhzhia power plants now preparing to leave. And on a previous broadcast, I'm told about it. On a Zaporizhzhia power plants, occupants now destroying all documentaries, they destroying documents, and now they robbing power plants, they robbing Energodar, they robbing occupied Zaporizhzhia region, and what this means? It means they so soon they will leave. And the collaborants administrator of Zaporizhzhia and her son warned people, they make a warning for people that they can be evacuated on a distance to 17 kilometers from the front line. What does it mean? It means that Russian soldiers, Russian high military commanding, preparing to the Ukrainian offensive, and it means that we have two variants. One variant they just leave like from Kherson without fight. Second variant they will fight in Zaporizhzhia. So and it's so interesting, but scenario looks like in Kherson, like on right side of Kherson. They too at first destroying all documentaries, they start robbing of the city, and after it they just leave before Ukrainians start offensive. But I don't know. I think that they just leave from the Zaporizhzhia because fight for the power plant it's very dangerous. It's not only dangerous for the Ukraine. If Zaporizhzhia power plant will explosive, if we will have some problem on the Zaporizhzhia power plants, it will be disaster for the whole world. We should understand it, because it's more bigger stations than Chernobyl, and more dangerous. So, and we hope that the Russian just leave. Uh, and so sorry, I have so long pause between uh, between my answers and your questions. And yes, and I will check next your question. So, uh, Johnny A. Jones question. Good morning from Victoria Oblast. Hello, Victoria Oblast. I read that T-34 on parade was probably built in the Kharkiv. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible, because T-34 was built and was made on a constructor bureau of Morozov in Kharkiv, on a factory of Malyshev. It's one of the biggest military factory in Ukraine. They made tanks, they made APC. This factory create BTR-4, BTR-3, they BTR tank Bulat, they made tank Oplot, and during Second World War they made a lot of T-34. They made the unreal number of T-34. It's a factory, it's like a small city in a city. And yeah, we have a very, very big chance that T-34 that was on a Russian parade was made it in a Kharkiv, because biggest part was made it on a Kharkiv. Yes, and it's possible. It's possible, really. And I will find next question. I will find next question. It's a question from the. Sorry, my dear. Sorry. It's a question from Yo Yo. Hey Pasha, what can you say about the advance of the Ukrainian soldier from today from Bakhmut? See on news was really successful. Are the Wagner part on run? So I doesn't have information that they run, and I doesn't have enough information from the Bakhmut, because my brother who on the Bakhmut now, so not so often have opportunity to write something or to call or send something for me. But Bakhmut is staying, Bakhmut is holding, and we should understand that Bakhmut is not so one hot point in Ukraine. We should not forget about Kreminna, it's near Luhansk region, about Avdiivka and other. And my mate from the Kreminna, it's Batman from the our project Winged Hussars. I'm 5 days or 4 days, no, 4 days from the previous broadcast, or five, I don't remember. I doesn't call him 5 days because his mobile phone was turned off. But today I'm talked with him. His telephone wasn't turned off. They just doesn't have a signal, because they on a criminal now, and he said that in a criminal real fucking hell, because on a criminal Russian have unreal activities. They pushing and pushing, and his battalion now holding position, so successful, but it's so difficult now. And they use cassette bombs, they use artillery, and a lot of infantry try to offensive. And once of the feature, combats near Crimea in a forest. In my opinion, combat in a forest it's one of the difficult combat. At first, I think it will be urban operation. After it will be forest combat. And now situation not so good and not so funny. And I will wait so update from the Batman, and I will publicate this update on our channel Winged Hussars. Who doesn't know about this channel? I'm co-owner of other project. Now we will made and extend this channel when they come back from the front line, but not now. And this update I will publicate on this channel. And so yes, but situation on the front line not funny, and I think that it's going on all directs on a Ukrainian front line. It's not so funny. If Wagner will leave or will fight Russian regular soldier, if Russian regular soldier will not fight, Kadyrovцы will fight, and you know. On a Russian artillery not influenced how Russian units stay on the front line. Russian artillery and aviation pushing so a lot. We should understand it. And I will find next question. So yes, Eurovision, Kim C, hello. Will you be watching Eurovision Song Contest? My dears, I'm a skip Eurovision. I'm a not watching Eurovision, but little bit later I will watch review. If I don't mistake, Eurovision not done. Yes, we doesn't know who win on a Eurovision. I'm just to Google this information. Nope. After 3 days, Eurovision will done, and I am just a will. I'm just will see review on a Eurovision when Eurovision will done, but I'm done watching the songs concourse. So I don't know. I'm not watched previous Eurovision. I'm no information that Ukraine win on a previous Eurovision only from my Instagram, from the stories on my friends. Yeah, I'm done control its situation. So yes. And okay, Croat, hello Jeffrey, and question from the Jeffrey. How long have you known the Batman? So I think maybe from the March of the previous year, he come in Ukraine like a volunteer for evacuate people from the occupied city, from the city on a front line, and on this time he was like a civilian volunteer now, and we have contact from this Zeus line, from the Zeus time, and we doesn't lose this contact for today. When we have opportunity, we meet with him and made project. So yeah. And next questions. Who poisoned Lukashenko? I don't know, maybe he try bet she in Russia. Do you know what is she, my dears? Oh, my question for you. Do you know what is she in Russia? She, my dears. wait. Answer from you. Do you know what is she in Russian? Traditionally Russian kitchen. So yeah, you're right. Russian type, Russian variants of the borscht. Um, and one how main future of the this Russian poor variant of the borscht. You know that borscht it's a very good type of soup. Yeah, not it's not type of soup. Borscht it's borscht, and borscht consists from meat, from potato, from cabbage, and a lot of vegetables, a lot of types of meats. And it depends from the region who made this borscht. But she, it's really Russian variants of the Ukrainian borscht. I'm show you it. I'm find it. Uh, she on the biggest part consists of cabbage and water, and that's all. And sometimes rich Russian people use meat in she, but for Ukraine, she it's funny. She it's songs like shit and looks like shit, and she it's a good name for the Russian traditionally dish. She shit. So yeah, and we can compare she traditionally she and the Ukrainian borscht. I'm show you. Who doesn't know what is borscht? It's a traditional Ukrainian dish. We had more than 100 types of borscht, and so you see she, and I'm show you. I'm compare borscht, and I think I will do it on a one screen. You should feel difference between Ukrainian kitchen and Russian traditional kitchen. So one moment, my dears. I'm sure I should show it. One moment. I am ready. A little bit. Yes. So at the left, corner we have a borscht. At the right corner we had the Russian she. Borscht versus she. I think that borscht 100% win. Victory have borscht, but just a compare to this dish. It's a traditionally Ukrainian dish, red, and traditional Russian dish. I think that Russian traditionally she looks like a remains of borscht, like only water and cabbages. And yes, I'm find not worst. I'm find not worst pictures of she. I'm not judging. Based. Biased. I'm not judging biased. It's a nature pictures of the two these ditches. Yes, and we had a very interesting fact 2 years ago, maybe 1 years yeah, 1 years ago, we had a very very interesting fact. Do you know that intellectuality owns, yes, and patents and rights, something like this. Ukraine doesn't had rights on abortion. No, not doesn't had. They just are not claimed rights on abortion. And 2 years ago, one Russian cook tried to claim rights on the Ukrainian borscht, and he said that Ukrainian borscht it's a part of Russian traditionally kitchen. And if I'm not mistake, European judging, UNESCO, United Nations discusses this question because Russian just tried to steal Ukrainian traditional dish, and Ukraine win in this fight, and Ukraine claim rights on the borscht because one of the Ukrainian cooks who was like a members or part of this investigation of United Nations show 121 variants how you can cooked borscht. 121 variants. He show regional types of borscht, with meat, without meat, with any vegetables. 121. I don't know. I don't know. So many types of vegetable. I don't know so many types of any types of dishes. But one cook find 121 variants. Who asked about bread? Trying daily. Is it bread on the photo? I'll take that. Yeah, it's an. I can't say that it's a bread. It's pampushka. I'm see somebody writes this word. Pampushka. It's like a small roll, small bob with an onion or with a garlic for the borscht. It's not just a bread. Flashback UA culinary blog. Hello. I'm sorry for this philosophical pause. So yes, but we win, and now we have rights for the borscht. Yes, so sorry, and I will find next your question. I will repeat that you can give your question on a question function. It's a blue message on the top of your chat, and you can use this function. It will be more comfortable for me and more comfortable for you, because I'm not skip your message. I will see it and I'm answer on your question, and sometimes I will check general chat for answering on a question. And don't forget that you can support our channel by two variants of by two platforms. It's PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee platforms. Thanks for your donates. We exist because thanks for donates we paid for our Starlink for our soldiers on the front line, and it's too important for us. And I'm see Ukrainian language in our chat. It's Sam V. Hello, Sam V. Hello, sunny New Zealand. Glad to see you on our broadcast. And Michaels, have you visited the front line trenches? You mean frontline trenches on a previous rotation or in a general? Yes, in a general I visited, and in a previous rotation I am too visited. It was very easy question. Maybe you want to ask something detail about trenches. I can say enough interesting information about it. Just Michael, just to give your question more extended, and I'm answer on your question. And my dears, next question from the Lorraine Checksfield. Hi Pasha, what's been your most dangerous moment recently? You know, for me personally, I think most dangerously moment, it wasn't one moment, it was a period timeline when I was infantry section commander from the 24th February to the 21st June. I think it was most dangerous for me because it's very big responsible for the soldiers, and it's so dangerous because you are working directly on a front line. I think this moment was dangerous, most dangerous. And I will find next question, my dears. So, Miriam Ward, are the terrorists still dropping illegal phosphorus bombs? How do you avoid the fallout? So, about phosphorus bomb, I think that a lot of people see pictures and video from the Bakhmut. For I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. Video video from the Bakhmut when Russian uses phosphorus bomb, and all city were under fire under phosphorus bomb. And yes, they use it, and they use it not only on a Bakhmut direct, they use it in a Kreminna too. And how we can avoid it? At first, you should be in cover at first, in building, if it's possible. But in a trench, it's a very dangerous. You should have a special hole or special cover for avoid it. But yeah, I think it's one of the most dangerous shit what can fall on you from the sky. Yes, but you can avoid it if you will be undercover. So and yes, they use it. They doesn't stop using illegal types of the weapon. Trying daily. I'm like question about food. Thanks. What will be your celebratory food after the war? For me personally, I don't know, but I think that for the biggest part of Ukraine, celebratory food it will be McDonald's, because you know that the war is start in Ukraine. McDonald's stopped work in Ukraine, and 7 months ago McDonald's start work in Kyiv, and 1 month ago in Dnipro city. But in other cities of Ukraine, McDonald's doesn't work. And so I think a lot of Ukrainian people wait that McDonald's come back in Ukraine, and McDonald's it will be a real celebratory food. But for me personal, celebratory food it will be food what's cook for me my mother. It will be celebratory food when I am come back to my home in my village. Uh, we will gather with all my family, my mom, my uncle, my uncle's wife, my cousin, and it will be so celebrate dinner and celebrate food for me. It will be food what's my mother cook. I think because I had McDonald's in Kiev, it's work. Ah, and I will looking for next question. Mousy, a difficult question. How can you mobilize men from the Mariupol be saved? Yeah, it's a real difficult question, Mousy. Uh, who doesn't know on all occupied territory uh, on all occupied territory Russian trying to demobilize it and mobilize local men, local people to the Russian army. They do it in a Kherson, they do it in a occupied Donbas region, in a Mariupol, same situation. And at first this man should try avoid mobilization. It's first chance for survive. Yes, and in Ukraine work program, Mr. Zolkin told about it. Every Russian soldiers can call to the special Ukrainian service and surrender during combat or surrender to the Ukrainian soldiers on the front line. And I think it's a once of the chance. But if new mobilized people will fight against Ukrainian, they have no chance because during very activity combats you can't understand where are from these soldiers. I think they should surrender and go to Ukraine. But it's only my opinion, and I don't know, maybe government have more recommendation, but it's only my opinion. If they will be mobilized, they should just leave from his unit and surrender to Ukrainian soldier, and when they come in Ukraine they will be safe. That laureate, what's your favorite Pinder repellent? Artillery, D30. How is there D30? It's my favorite repellent. I'm right. Understand repellent. Right. It's like a dichlorphos against insect. Yes. Yes. If repellent it's shit against Russian, I think that artillery. And okay, your next question. Gary H. Down. Hi from United Kingdoms. Question for you. How hard is it for you guys when taking Wagner prisoners not to beat the shit out of them for them their crimes? First reason why we shouldn't beat him, it's because we are we adhere to international war law and war rules. So it's main reason because we are not animal like Russian, and if he is prisoner, he should a war prisoner. he at first he should go to the special servers for the interrogation of questioning for information about enemies, and after it he should go in prison. I think that Wagner's will be beat him when he come back to the Russian, but we are not animals, and we know how we should work with captured soldiers. Borstville. Borstville. I think that Borstville it's a local Ukrainian kitchen fun. Question from the Borstville. What is your favorite way to eat sala? On bread? I want to try, but I'm scared. No scared, no scared. Because Sala won't beat you. Don't worry it. We had any types how right it's salad. First it's it was a bread. Second type it's with onion too, very tasty. With garlic too, so tasty. But yes, it's three general types with bread, with garlic, and with onion. My four friends just drop sala in soup or in a borscht and say, what are you doing? It's wrong, don't do it. You should eat sala only with bread or with onion or with garlic. No other types. No other types. But it's only my opinion. Maybe somebody have other things. But for me, no other types. And I will looking for next your question, my dears. Shaina Caldwell. Can a person who has been living in occupied area escape and return to Ukraine? I talked with women who lived on occupied territory. I think that men doesn't have this opportunity, but women's 100% have. At first, she or he or they should go to the Russia in St. Petersburg, and after it they should go to the Finland on a Russian border in a Finland, and from Finland through the move from the Russia to Finland, and through the Finland through all Europe they can come back to Ukraine. Yes, it's a long way, but it's a chance for come back in Ukraine 100% work. Other way I don't know. Sometimes I've heard from the people who lived on occupied territory in Kharkiv, in Kherson, that Russian soldier can bribe. A Russian soldier very like money, dollars, hryvnias, rubles, doesn't matter, and if you give money for him, they just will miss you, pass you, and I think you can go to Ukraine through the front line directly. But more safety variant, it's moving through the Russian and through the Europe. It's work 100%. and I will find next your question, my dears. So I'm so often see question how I'm sleep. Uh, if I'm streaming for you only at night, it doesn't mean that I am never sleep. I'm talking before that I'm have some troubles with my sleep because my head trauma influence on it. For example, if I not will sleep to midnight, I can't sleep all night. Yes, or if I'm go to sleep, I can't wake up during one night 5 times, 6 times, and more. Yes, and usually I have enough time to sleep when I am in Kiev, and but now I'm on a service, and tomorrow I will go to the service, but I am sleep enough. Don't worry about me, my dears. Always okay, because we are on a peaceful territory. We in a capital of Ukraine, under air defense system covers, and always be good. And yes, I'm sleep enough. When I'm talking that I have problem with my sleep, I mean more problem with a health or mental problem. I don't understand, but it's not about my daily routine and not about my regime. I'm right. Regime. Kim C, do you get much free time? What do you normally do in your free time? So not so much, not so a lot, because if we are coming in a Kiev, it doesn't mean that we are do nothing. We on a service biggest part of the time. When I'm come back to the home after the service, from the service, yes, because I'm sleeping in my flat, in a rent flat. I can go to the gym or I can play it in my PC. Sometimes I'm walking or meet with my friend, but it's not so often because biggest part of time I'm on my service from the 8 a.m. to the 19 to the 7 p.m. And I will find next your questions, my dears. Charlie Manson. Another of the wall question. Does the Ukrainian army suffer from toilet roll sieves? The British army are terrible for it. You gotta carry an emergency supply at all times. So yes, it's if we will talk about army routine, not about war. In our war we had a little bit other atmosphere, but if we talk about army routine before war, yes, toilet paper sieves. It's one of the general problem in Ukrainian army, because when I was a second battalion commander, yeah, in our toilet, in our barrack, we install one of in every toilet cabin, on every toilet room, toilet paper. And in one barrack lived near 150 soldiers, and not every have personal toilet paper. Sometimes they lose it or something like this. And yes, every day toilet paper thieves wake up and go to the job and rob and steal all toilet paper in the toilet. Yes, it's a sad, but it was a it was once of the important problem in Ukrainian army before war. But now we have another problem. Not trouble with the toilet paper. Little bit more seriously, like a Russian missile or Russian artillery. So, my dears, and I will wait and looking for next question, and I think it will be last question for today. You can see that I'ma try to make broadcast, talking broadcast with you more often, maybe once on a 3 day if it's possible. I hope it will be good for you. And I will wait the next question, and I think it will be last question. So you can send your question in a questions function. It's a blue pinned message on the top of your chat. Just a push on this button and write question for me. And don't forget support our channel. A requisite for the support you can see on a pinned message under my face on your screen and on a describe of the our broadcast. Okay, MC2 question. So for me, I feel that I should turn off broadcast when when I'm getting confused, when I doesn't see messages and real I feel house in my head. Yes, and when I feel it, I should turn off. And now I have a little bit similar situation. And the question from Halichanka: how did you learn English? So I learned English before in military academy, but I think that it's not so important because biggest part of my English learning was on a war when I was commander of the 4E team. I think that war upgrade my English, but before I was studied on a philology faculty, and my specialty is a military translation from the English and the German languages. And question from the Tony Ottison: how is Max? How Max is okay? He too in Kiev, he too on rest. Always good with Max. We doesn't work alone now. If I am on a front line, he too on a front line. If he on a front line, I'm too on a front line. Always good. We like a twins now. Maybe we little bit not similar, yeah, but we like a twins, band brothers. Thanks, my dear, for your attention. Thanks for your good activity on a broadcast. 378 likes. Beautiful. Thanks, my dears. And I will go to sleep. I wish you good night, good day, good morning, good evening. It depends from your time in your country. I wish you a peaceful sky, and I wish you that Putin should die so soon. Okay, my dear, stand with Ukraine. Don't forget to support us. See ya later. I promise that the next broadcast will be so soon. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye.